stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. Oh!
Welcome to Wednesday. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I'm done.
See ya.
See ya.
Thank you.
Great show. Appreciate everybody checking in. How are you, Chris?
I'm good. It's Wednesday, I think. It's
It is.
nice weather outside. I'm not sitting in front of a screen full of code right now, so that's good. So, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, the problem is it's a nice day outside. I mean, it's fucking
Yeah.
gorgeous out there. And so, like, everybody's out doing stuff and then watches the show later, which blows ass. Dude.
That's fine. Who cares?
Of course,
We're in
we
a different
welcome...
world.
Huh?
We're in a different world now, man.
We are.
It's you can't worry about live views anymore. I keep learning that more and more, that live is fun, I guess. It's fun when you see a big number up in the corner or whatever, but it doesn't matter.
I'm not really worried about that. I like the interaction, so we welcome your comments to the show throughout, as you well know.
Sure.
We prefer that you pay for them.
Well,
I
you
was thinking
could
about
just
that,
only put up the ones that are paid if you wanted to.
Nah, I mean, well, whatever. I will. But you're going to get priority if you're paying.
Sure.
I was thinking about this earlier. Like, I was making my way up the stairs, which
Yeah.
takes a while, oh, by the way, because I'm fat and then have one leg. Mainly because I'm fat, dude. Like, I'm sitting there going, holy shit, I'm getting windy go up these fucking stairs. And it was really bothering me. I was like, all right, dude, you got to do something here to work out a little bit. But on my jaunt and journey up the stairs,
Mm-hmm.
the 10 that I have, when I stopped for the third time to take a rest, I was thinking, dude, my daughter's graduation party's coming up.
Right.
Like, we're talking like 3 weeks, three and a half weeks or so before my daughter's
Okay.
graduation party.
Right.
And we're having it, not here at the house, but at we live in like a development. I guess, can I say the name of the development? I guess it doesn't matter.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? Okay. No, you're probably not. Probably right. But we live in a development that has a big red barn.
Okay.
And so we're having this big red barn that you can rent out, whatever, and
Sure.
stuff. So, we're doing that. And, in lieu of, people coming to the party, I prefer that everybody just donates to the show.
Oh, there
And
you
I'll
go.
make sure that my daughter gets your money
There you go.
as a
Perfect.
graduation gift. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, that would be great.
That
Graduation
would be
gift.
great.
And, it's going to be a hell of a party. Like, my dad's getting it catered and stuff. And
Nice.
so we made this list, right? Of
Mhm.
literally, like, probably like 60 people that, 70 people that she wanted to invite, and friends,
Sure.
and this, that, and the other thing. And I think we've gotten a response from like 6 that are actually coming. They're sitting there going, well, what the hell are we going to do with all this food?
Yeah,
It's
you can
like
have
catered.
$7,000 of food to feed 6 people or whatever.
The problem is you put like RSVP on the invitation, and nobody does that.
No.
Like I said on the invitation, I had my daughter write RSVP, text this number. It was my phone number.
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no.
Right.
So that way we can have a count to see how much food we need and all that kind of stuff. And I spent a few $100s to rent this damn barn out.
Right.
And I've gotten like 4 responses from people. And there's some people that actually I know that I've talked to and they're coming to the party and it's fine. It's great. So I don't even, for all I know, we could get all 70 couples that were invited and our children to show up on the day of. Because people don't even respond with no.
And if not that, you're going to end up starting to invite people like lower down on the list. You'll have like the clerk at the gas station that sells you the pop every day and
Right.
stuff.
Well, it's
Just to
like
fill it out.
you don't know where to draw the line because you're
Sure.
only going to have so much food and there's only so much space in this place. I mean, we're only
Right.
allowed to have so many people in the room. And so I'm sitting there, we're making this list. We're just going through family, and then top friends of hers that were going to come. Of course, I have friends that I'd like to invite. I mean, of course, why wouldn't I? But it's not my
Sure.
party.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm asking her to invite the friends that she wants to be there,
Sure.
like her friends from school and whatever. And then I have to assume that they would at least bring a parent. I don't know, maybe. I have no
Yeah.
idea. But if I put on the damn invitation, RSVP, text yes or no, then at least I have somewhat of an idea what's going to happen. But no.
Well, why don't you have her or you or a little of both? It sounds like send a text, a mass text to everybody saying, "What the fuck?
What's the fucking problem?
Are you
Look,
coming or
douchebags.
not? Are you coming or not? Yes or because if they get a text, they'll answer it. Almost certainly they'll answer it, especially if it's if it's your friends or your family friends from you, or if it's Molly's friends from Molly,
Well,
they'll answer the text.
Look, it's not Molly and Molly. It's not my friends. I mean, my friends. I'm just asking, like you. I'll even ask you, like right now,
Sure.
Chris. On the end of May, the invitation is out to you. You're more than welcome to come by. There's gonna be food there. We're gonna hang out and stuff like that, man. But
Sure, I'll get back to you, man.
yeah, I'm sure that you will. And I'm sure you'll be like right on the list of.
I'll
I'm sure
text you, really.
Yeah, you'll text me, and I'll be waiting patiently for that text. But the invitation is out there. But
Right, sure.
so I mean, again, there are certain friends that I'm going to ask or have asked, whatever they can come or not. It doesn't matter because it's not really going to make that big of a deal.
Sure.
Because Molly's not going to care. My friends show up. She's worried about her friends showing up.
Right, of course.
But even family members haven't even gotten back to me. That's whether they're going to be there.
Well, you better make sure that you might want to take this next couple of weeks and eat the refrigerator down to the bare minimum.
Well, that's just it. I'm going to load up on, get rid of all the food in the fridge, and then hopefully what happens is not a whole lot of people fucking show up. They mail cards or some shit like that to my daughter, and then I'm loaded up with a whole bunch of whatever we get.
Yeah, we're eating chicken for the next 18 days straight.
And I think my dad was talking about getting what's that chicken? Chick-fil-A catered.
Okay. Ooh.
And so I'd be more than happy to stuff a whole bunch of like 70 fucking chicken sandwiches in my fridge and be happy for like the next month.
Right. Your dad's having Chick-fil-A cater it?
I believe so because that's what my
man.
daughter wanted.
That sounds fantastic. So will it be Chick-fil-A sandwiches or chicken or a little of both or what?
I think sandwiches and fries and nuggets and all that kind of stuff, all the good stuff.
Okay, man, that sounds fucking fantastic. I'm texting my RSVP right now.
See?
Chick-fil-A.
I mean, if nothing else, it's the food, right? I mean,
RSVP.
but yeah, there it is. Okay, great.
You got one?
I got one on the list. See? But it is frustrating because we have this giant list like on the fridge, right? And we're putting like a highlighter. I mean, I hate to sound like a homosexual here. Like I'm sounding so gay right now talking about this stuff. But there's a list on the fridge, and when somebody RSVPs, you put a little highlighter light if they're coming or not.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like 3 highlights on the fucking fridge. This is gonna be the loneliest party of all time. Dude. It'll be me, you, and my dad sitting there eating chicken.
And you and your dad yelling at each other about politics or whatever. It'll be
Right.
great.
Speaking of
I'll
my
be
dad,
sitting there trying to officiate.
yeah. Speaking of my father, it is his birthday today.
Oh,
So,
what is he, about 50?
No, yeah. He's 76 today.
Look at that. Congratulations there.
And
Williams.
ironically enough, so happy birthday to my dad. But ironically enough, I feel bad saying this because it is his birthday, but it's also the 20-year anniversary of my mother dying.
Wow.
To the day.
Boy, talk about both ends of the spectrum there. Holy cow.
Yeah. So she, they got divorced when I was in high school or whatever, but she died 20 years ago on his birthday,
Oof.
which is really weird, dude.
Yeah, that is weird.
Like, I don't want to get in the whole story. I don't think my dad's listening today, but happy birthday to him. I hope he has a great day. But yeah, I don't think she was a big fan of his for a lot of years. And it's just, I almost think that like she did it on purpose.
Oh boy, Jesus.
But I mean, it's weird that she would pass away on this day, but it's been 20 years to the day that she passed away.
What'd she die of? If I'm not being too personal.
She went in for heart surgery, right? She was supposed to have like a double bypass,
Mm-hmm.
and they opened her up. This is on, I think, the 27th that they opened her up, and they said it was worse than what they thought. And so they tried closing her up, couldn't get her closed up.
Mm.
And she lasted the 28th, 29th, and then died on the 30th.
Yeah.
Now,
somehow I don't think she did that on purpose, dude.
Now here's the thing, though, that I find odd. Well, I mean, she could have died on the 27th, 28th, or 29th.
So she just hung on to a last fuck you to your dad?
I don't know. But I don't want to dwell on that. Just 'cause, again, I'm hoping my dad has a wonderful day. But the thing that really bothered me about that whole situation is that it was Lakewood Hospital, dude. That place is long since gone now.
Sure.
And it was the most fucked up way that you could possibly deal with somebody. Like, I didn't have any family here. It was just me and my wife now. We weren't married then. And we were at Parmatown Mall, and the hospital called me and said, you need to get here, like, now. This is back when Parmatown still had a mall.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, you need to get back to the hospital, like, now. I said, okay. And I get back, and she was gone. And it's so weird. I don't know how many people you've seen that are dead or something, but I had seen it just a day before. And you could just tell, like, the soul was gone, dude. It's one of the main reasons why I believe in the afterlife is because there was something missing once she was gone that wasn't there just minutes before, the day before, or whatever.
Sure.
And so it just didn't even look like the same kind of person. And it wasn't like makeup and all that kind of crap at the funeral home. It was her spirit, her life was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so they took me. Now, granted, I found out literally 5 minutes ago. I'm standing in the room with my mother who's laying on a bed, passed away. And they go, all right, you're going to have to come with us. I'm like, okay.
All right.
I don't even know what happened yet. And
Right.
I'm in tears because my mom's laying there in front of me, gone.
Right.
And I'm trying to ask what happened. And they take me into a room and they hand me a brochure of funeral homes.
Oh, gee, thanks.
And the guy goes, you're going to have to, doctor will be in to talk to you in a little bit, but you need to let us know where you want the body set. I was like, staring at my girlfriend at the time, who's not my wife, but I was staring at my girlfriend going, what the hell what just happened? Like, I know that she has been
I need
gone
a minute.
for 5 minutes, and they gave me a brochure and tell me where to send the body to.
Yeah.
And it was the most heartless, horrible thing that I'd ever had to go through because I wasn't expecting her to pass away. And
Dude, the weird thing about that is how it is. You know, I mean, believe it or not, and I'm sure you've probably held on to it forever, that these guys were just a bunch of heartless cunts. That's how it is. Dude, when my dad died, I was literally, it was me and my mom were in the room, and you know, I'll cover both parts of your comment here. I was right in the room, watched him take his last breath. And exactly like you said, watched the little tiny bit of life he had left just gone. And then it was just a bag of flesh on the bed.
Right.
It was just nothing was there.
Doesn't it look different? Doesn't it look like
Yes.
a shell now all of a sudden?
It does. It does. There's just something to the eyes.
Yeah.
You know, the eyes are just gone. You know, but I went through that, and then it was the weirdest damn thing because my mom, we were at a hospice where my dad passed. And my dad died at exactly 5:00 in the morning, like on the nose. 5:01, my mom's like, okay, let's go. We got to clean up the room. We got to get out of here. And I'm like, what? You know, and she's like, no, we got to go. They need the room. and I was like, Ma, take a breath, right? No, we were out of the hospice before 6:00. My dad died at exactly 5. And I was like you, I was shook up and crying and a mess, trying to drive home.
Right.
You know, and honestly, John's wife, Stephanie, calls me. She talked to me for hours, just, you know, a few hours in that morning just to kind of make sure I was okay or whatever. I hang up the phone. I had not slept in like 2 or 3 days because, you know, obviously I was shook up with my dad dying, whatever. I finally go to bed at like 10:30 in the morning. You know, I finally go to bed after 3 days of not sleeping. My phone rings at 12:00. It's my brother. And he goes, I need you and Mom over here at whatever funeral home here in Northfield in an hour. I was like, why? And they're like, well, we got to make all the arrangements. We got to get this done. And I mean, it was that quick. My dad died at 5, and by 1, we were at a funeral home. And I don't know if you went through all this or not, dude, but doing the arrangements for a funeral home when you're fucked up is the most enraging. I was enraged when they're sitting there and they're like, oh, what do you think the deceased would have thought of these funeral cards? And, you know, we're going through these books of cards and shit. And they're asking, what do you think would be a good phrase for the, and I'm like, I couldn't give a shit what you write on these cards. My dad just died.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it's really a heartless. I understand why, because there's just not a lot of, they need as much time as possible to make their arrangements. And I get that, you know, to get the body and to preserve it and embalming and all that other shit. I get that they need as much time as possible, but man, it comes at a heartless expense.
Yes. I mean, I didn't have any family there. It was just me and my girlfriend at the time sitting there staring at my poor dead mother, and then all of a sudden they're handing me a booklet saying pick somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where to go. What do you mean? I don't know anything about these places. What do you want to just put my finger on one and take it? I mean, I had no idea what the hell to do.
Yeah.
So we ended up taking her to a place. I don't even know if it's there anymore. It's across from St. Ed's High School.
Okay.
Because it was right by the hospital. And, you know, she didn't have a will when she went in for the surgery, but they made her fill out something.
Okay.
Like beforehand, like a makeshift kind of will.
Sure.
And saying like what she wanted done with her if she did pass away.
Right.
And so, you know, she said that she wanted to be cremated. And so, you know, I picked this place and told her, you know, told the person there what she wanted done. She wanted cremated and all this kind of stuff. And my mom wasn't like a regular churchgoer, so it wasn't like we had a specific church service or anywhere to go for that. And so I remember the day of the service. The day of the service is way fucked up, but I'll tell you that maybe off the air. But when we're standing there, and like some lady came, I guess my mom knew, and they were playing like bagpipes at the top of the stairs, and that was weird, but it was nice, I guess. But something my mom, I guess, wanted, but I didn't know anything about it. And then this guy gets up on, like, in front of everybody and starts talking about my mom. Right. Now, this guy didn't know shit about my mom. Didn't know anything about her. I mean, I was like my mom's like best friend, and like her and I hung out all the time. I mean, we
Sure.
were just kind of I was a mama's boy. I hate to say that, but I was, and she was just always there for me forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I know everything about my mom. There's fucking guys up there saying stuff that some of it didn't even make sense. Like, that's not my mom. What the hell are you talking about? What
Right.
book did you read here?
Yeah.
Like, is
Gets
this
her
just
name wrong or whatever?
like is this just generic shit that you pick up to be a funeral director or whatever? You're just gonna spout some shit out. So I started getting angry,
I'll bet. Yeah.
and at one point I just yelled like, "You don't know shit about me." So then my sorry ass caused a scene at the goddamn funeral.
I get it, man. I get it. It's I went through a weird thing like when my dad passed, because of radio and stuff. I was, whatever level I was known at, and you might have gone through this too. I couldn't put the funeral announcement on like Facebook, or because I would have rather just put it on Facebook and be done with it and not had to answer to anybody. You know what I mean? Just kind of deal with things myself and not have to deal with it. Well, I put on Facebook, one of the biggest mistakes of my entire life is social media. I put on Facebook that my dad died, and that I was gonna, huh?
What year was this?
2013. And so I put it on Facebook, and I immediately, you get and I mean, I'm sure you've seen this with anybody that's had somebody die. You get way more responses than anything else you would ever do.
Of course.
If everything else might get 30 or 50 likes or whatever, or sad faces or whatever, you put that your father died, it's 500 or 1,000 or whatever. So I get all these responses. And then the next day or so, I keep getting messages from people that were like, where's the funeral going to be at? Where's the service? And I'm like, I'm looking at these names, and these are not like friends. These are Facebook friends.
Right.
So it's like, people I do not know,
Oh, yeah.
and by the hundreds looking for and I ended up having to talk to my mom, and I told her, I said, I hate to be this guy, but we're going to probably need a list of who's allowed in and not.
Yeah.
Because I underestimated greatly that anybody other than my close friends would come on my behalf. And we ended up having to kind of make a list, and we only had about 3 people that weren't on the quote unquote list that got turned away, but we had to do that, which sucked.
I mean, luckily I shouldn't say luckily, but my mother passed in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
And so there wasn't really, I don't think Facebook was even around then.
Yeah, why not?
And so, wasn't anything really to post or anything like I would now, like I would today if something happened. And so there wasn't really like that much of a reaction. But all right, I'm going to genericize, if that's a word, what happened.
Sure.
So, not to name names or anything like that. So, my girlfriend, now my wife, and I wanted to go away for a few days, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we were going to go to Detroit, take a vacation. We are going to go see a concert and all this kind of stuff. But I needed to get out of work. And so my mom at the time said, all right, here's what you do. Tell your boss, and I think it was Bo. Remember Bo?
Yeah, Bo Matthews.
Mm-hmm. And she goes, tell him that a close family member died. And that you need the week off so you can go to the funeral and all this kind of stuff.
Sure.
And I was like, okay, yeah, great idea. Great. And so then I tell Bo, I was like, yeah, I got to go to a funeral. Family member died, blah, blah, blah. It's really sad. And I said it was on my dad's side of the family, whatever. It was like, I need time off.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, okay. And gives me the time off. So we go up to Detroit.
Okay.
We're having a good time partying and all this kind of stuff. That's when my mom was all of a sudden admitted to the hospital. And I called my mom and I say, hey, we're up in Detroit. She goes, I'm going to be fine. Don't worry about me. Stay up there. Nothing big here. Right. Come back when you guys are done. I was like, okay. Come back. A day later, she's gone.
Jesus.
And so now everybody's coming to the funeral,
Right.
including my dad and Bo.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to tell my dad that mom told me that to tell my boss that somebody died in the family, and so I could get the time off.
Oh my God.
Because Bo's gonna go straight to my dad and go, "Hey, I'm really sorry to hear about what happened,
Right.
and sorry about your loss of the family and all this kind of stuff." And nobody has any idea that it was just a lie to get out of work for a week.
Oh my God.
And so it was like a big episode, like Three's Company, dude. Everything got all fucked up, and I was like, "Now what the fuck am I gonna do?" And
Jesus.
so the whole thing turned into a big disaster, and I was really sick to my stomach because it was my mom just died, my best friend just died,
Yeah.
and then I'm having to deal with this garbage too. I'm sitting at a funeral home, like, oh man, it was a nightmare and a half, dude.
Yeah. I think they all are, man. I don't think any of them are just like,
Yeah,
no,
but-
cool. It went well.
If anybody can fuck up a funeral, as sad enough as it is, it's me.
You found a way.
I found a way to make what actually is the worst day of my life even worse.
Even worse.
Because that's just kind of how I roll.
Oh man.
I'm next to my dad's casket in the hearse, getting ready to start the grave service. Honor guard there, people coming in, completely distraught. Pastor comes up to me, "Hello, Bob. Got that $130 for the service."
Wow. Boy, they're bold, man. That might land you a punch in the face.
I'm telling you, dude.
I mean, seriously, that might land you a punch in the face.
It's crazy, man. It's so people have no class sometimes when it's the worst time of your life.
Yeah. Well, but to the funeral people, it's just work.
It's their job. I get it.
To the funeral people, it's the same as the guy that's delivering paper to the office being 5 minutes late. They just don't. They're. I've always thought this. I don't know if you think this or not, and I don't know a lot of funeral people, but I did work at a crematory for a little period of time, so I got to know some people.
Yeah.
In that world, they are the biggest bunch of frauds of all the people you will ever meet, with their bullshit low talk and their fake demeanor of, "Oh, tell me about how young Jonathan was in life," and all that bullshit that they do. It's all an act. When I worked at the crematory, those same people would come in and they'd be like, "Hey, I understand you got a 3-for-1 for me today, man." Just total dicks. And then like an hour later, they're in back at their place talking to the same person the family of the person they were just joking about, going, "I'm sure that Robert was a caring man." But it's like, fuck you, you dick.
Yeah, I know a couple of funeral home guys pretty well, and I mean they're like like I said, like "Hey, I'm really so sorry to hear about everything that happened to you," and yet, dude, I was going out with them, and they were fucking just crazy motherfuckers.
Dude, they're nutty.
Yeah,
honestly, I mean. Crazy. I don't know if I've ever talked about it here on the show, but I worked at a crematory for a couple of months. Only a couple, and then I couldn't take it. It just fucked with my head too much. But one of the things I like, this is a perfect example. We had a what would you call him, a coroner, I guess, that he took the bodies and he stitched them up and got them ready for service.
Yeah.
If they were in like car accidents and shit. So any car accident would happen in downtown Cleveland, the body'd get shipped to this fucking ghoul, and he was a ghoul. And one of my jobs, on top of burning people, which was my main focus on the job,
right.
One of my other jobs at this place was that I had to go around and collect paperwork and stuff and make sure that all the paperwork was filled out correctly. So I would go into this ghoul's area, like he had his own like office area, I guess, or room or something. I go in there and this fucking ghoul would put the paperwork under like a severed hand or an eyeball or somebody's cut off foot or some shit, just because he knew it freaked me out. So he would do that all the time. I'd go down, hey, you got your paperwork? Yeah, it's under that foot. You fucking sick fucking prick. I hated this. I wanted to throw this guy into the cremation thing
into
and
the
just
flames.
cook his ass, motherfucker. He was a sick piece of shit. I hated
And then,
that
you
guy.
know, like, man, I don't know. It was sad. I mean, once my mom was cremated, I didn't know where to put her, and so literally she drove with me in my car for like 6 months, like in the urn or whatever, and just hung out in the back seat. So my relative decided to bury her somewhere down in
Well,
Camden.
dude, and it takes people a long time. Again, this goes back to that first day. Like 5 hours later or whatever, my mom made the decision. Like me and my brother was way better. He was way more composed than me, so he was better at helping her. I think my answer at the funeral home for everything was, I don't give a shit. Whatever,
Right.
I don't care about the cards. I don't care about the cremation. I don't care about because I didn't care. All I wanted to do was get away from whatever it was, the hurt. That's all I wanted. So somewhere along the way, in this first meeting, 4 or 5 hours after my dad passed, my mom got it in her head that she was, instead of just doing like everybody else does and get my dad cremated and put in an urn and do whatever, she had his ashes cooked up into some kind of big tablet looking thing. that because my dad was when he grew up in Rhode Island and he grew up on the boats. So the thought was it was this biodegradable thing, and you throw it off a boat and it biodegrades into the ocean or whatever.
Yeah.
And her thought was, well, she'll do that and she'll send him off where he wanted to be, right?
Right.
This fucking tablet sat in her closet for probably 7 years. She finally got it and dumped it in like 7 years later. but the reality was it was a terrible idea. Who's going to do that? Who is going to 4 hours after their loved one dies have the foresight to say, you know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake it into a tablet that biodegrades, and I'm going to take it out to the Atlantic Ocean, and I'm going to, who has the foresight for that minutes after their loved one has died?
I remember the worst thing I ever did with ashes, because I had never seen ashes before, and didn't realize that they're not just ash. I mean, you can see like particles of bone and shit in there, and not like big bones, they're like little chips of shit. It's a whole bunch of crap in there, and we did a contest at MMS, and if you wanted to win tickets, you had to bring your loved one's ashes down to the station.
Oh, wow.
And we took the ashes because they were in like a bag inside the urn.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And took the bag out, and you had to play a game of hot potato with the ashes. So they were throwing these ashes all around the studio. This poor dead guy, dude. Like this, I think it was like a woman or a dead husband. And we were playing hot potato with a dead husband's ashes for tickets to like a show. And then she said, I don't need these things. I don't really need it. And so she left the ashes, and we kept them in the office for quite some time. It was a hell of a contest. But so if I'm not going to hell for all the other things I've done, that might be one of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it was a hell of a contest.
I'm sort of a believer that once they're gone, they're gone. Especially after seeing it up close. This whole thing about, well, we got to respect the remains. Doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
I think I want to be cremated, dude. I want to be like...
I want a half price sale on my cremation.
We've already got half done.
Yeah,
right?
that's already been half cooked.
I want a quarter of mine. I'm not as big as I used to be.
Yeah, there you go.
But I want to know for sure that I'm gone. Like, I don't want any chance of like my eyes opening up and like casket underneath going, hello.
Yeah.
Hello? Like, did you guys not check and make sure that this was like for real? Like, hello? I don't want that. I'd rather, at least if I'm burned to shreds, dude, and at least I know for a fact that I'm a goner.
Yeah, unless you wake up in the oven.
Okay, but at least then I know it's going to be over soon. For that couple minutes, it'll suck, but at least I know. All right, well, they fucked up, but at least I'm gone here.
Yeah, that job. Oof.
I can imagine that would suck.
You do not want to know that job, man. Look, I'm a pretty tough guy, I think, in general. And that job, it took me all of 2 months to say, yep, I can't do this. I had too many. Dude, I mean, it was almost instant, too. Like, really what happened with that job was I started having dreams about my own family being dead, like nightly.
Yeah, dude.
And because I don't know if you even know this, but basically on any time you fly on a plane, there's dead bodies on it. You know, they ship them back and forth because people die outside of their city all the time.
Right.
You know, people that are from Cleveland, they're in Boston for a weekend or whatever, and they drop dead. Well, they got to fly them back, and they fly them back in a cardboard box. So we would get deliveries from the airport, 4 and 5 of these big boxes at a time. And you open up the box, and laying in there dead is Mr. Jones, you know, and you got to make sure he's dead. So you got to, you know, feel around his face to make sure there's no fucking breathing or anything. It was brutal, man. I hated that gig. And again, all these other guys, they're all half crazy, so they're making all kinds of jokes, and then the family comes and goes, "Oh, Mrs. Jones, so sorry for your loss." It's like,
yeah, well, people are two-faced, dude.
Yeah.
Susan, welcome to the show. My mom's ashes are on a shelf in my living room. Well,
that's cool if you're into that, I guess. To me, that just, I don't know.
I don't want to look at it.
That keeps the wound open.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I don't like my mom. I think she was like into country music and stuff. I think she wanted us to like put her ashes like a boot somewhere, like a country boot,
boot.
Like, keep her somewhere. And I was like, I cannot put my mom in like a boot to keep her around.
I have people in my life. I won't say who because I don't want to insult them, but I have people in my life that keep the ashes of their dead pets.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I can't. But some of them have like 8 or 9. You know, like if they have cats or whatever, and the cats die, then they've got like 7 or 8, 9 boxes on their mantle of cats.
Like
cats.
I thought about that with my last dog that I had because like
making sure the new dog isn't listening.
Yeah, making sure the new dog isn't listening. But the first dog I had, man, I love that dog. The dog was so great. And when he passed, I thought, I'm going to keep the ashes and blah, blah, blah. And then I was thinking, what am I going to do with these things? I'm going to stare at them?
Yeah.
But then what sucks is, like, I didn't bury him. Like, the place that we took him, when we had to finally put him down, he was a mess, dude. Like, shit himself and all this. It was really bad. And so they take him and put him in, like, a cemetery, a pet cemetery somewhere, but I don't even know where it's at.
Right.
Which is sad. And it sucks. I mean, death is really terrible. What a horrible show this is today.
Well,
I'm sorry, Susan. Susan, I apologize for you listening to this show.
You weren't sure what we were going to talk about. Boy, we went a different direction.
Did go a different direction than I thought we were going to go to. Bob says that may be the ticket, Seth, one way. Yeah, for playing with the ashes. Oh, that wasn't my idea. I don't believe in it. Why don't you believe in cremation? I can't imagine anyone being able to do it. Why don't you believe in cremation? What good is the body doing underneath the ground other than you're taking up space where you can put good new condos or something?
I think she saw one of those videos, kind of like when they show the chickens and then you stop eating chicken for a week because you see how brutally they kill them to eat them. I think that's what she said. And it is brutal. I mean, it's doing a cremation is brutal. It's not as simple as you put them in the oven and you come back.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Because I don't know anything about the process. So
yeah.
Hopefully, keep listening. We're going to talk about Amazon, and Tony Masasha is going to be checking in from a restaurant here shortly. I did hear from him. He's going to be actually at a restaurant tonight.
Oh, good.
So we're looking forward to that. Our restaurant reporter at a restaurant.
Nice. That'll be good.
We're making progress. Don't forget to donate to the show and donate to my daughter's graduation. There you go. What does the do like when you cremate somebody? Because you were in charge of actually putting
Mhm.
them in the oven, correct?
Yeah. Hmm.
Like, do you strip them down? Are
Not
they naked,
always.
or are they
Not
naked? Or you
always,
go
but
with the clothes on?
well, a lot of times they come with the clothes on, but they got to be quote unquote certified. Like a body has to be x-rayed and everything beforehand to make sure that they don't have like a pacemaker or something in there that could blow up because it'll blow up from the gas
Right,
and the heat and
right.
stuff. So, you have to kind of, there's a process. Most of the time you just, I would say probably 70-30. They were naked though. You just,
All right, dude. See, this is all right. Now I'm rethinking my whole desire to be cremated. You think I want some dude like you? No offense to you, but some dude sitting there going, "All right, look at this guy's fucking dick, dude. Look how small this guy was. No wonder he died. Like he's making all kind of dick jokes about me. Look how fat he is. Oh my god, no wonder this fucking guy is. His heart probably exploded. That's why he's dead. Are we gonna put this guy in the oven? We got all eat off him for like 8 days if we stick this guy in the oven.
yeah,
We can
but you're
cook
going to
him,
be, but
eat the fat.
here's why that method doesn't work, dude. Because they're gonna do that anyway. If you get buried, because they're still gonna fucking strip you down to embalm you anyway, cut you open and everything else. So
Really, I don't want any of this.
you better stitch some pants on then.
There's got to be a way to keep some pride when I die. I don't want any of this garbage.
Look, the only way you can keep the pride is if you go like the guys at 9/11 that just jumped off the 110th floor.
I know what I'm doing, dude. I'm jumping in Lake Erie and sinking to the bottom.
Have a shark eat you.
Yeah, you ain't gonna find me, dude. I'm gonna get eaten by something, or like just lay at the bottom underneath the sand.
Right.
I'm gonna tie a couple of bricks to my feet and
Right.
plummet to the bottom, dude. I do not want some strange dude ripping my clothes off, checking me out, dude. That would be so bad.
Yeah, it's not fun. None of it was fun.
I mean, do you think like those guys like check out hot chicks or like, hey, look at this broad? Hey,
Dude, not really. I
Better
mean,
clothes
there's just nothing. Some of the weird sickos might, but the guys that are looking to cold pack chicks or whatever. But yeah, I mean, they are dead, and they're very dead. They're not like dead for a half hour dead. They're like dead. So, they're lifeless, in their head, and they're all white and ghosty, pale, hard to maneuver, like their joints don't move and shit.
See, I can see that, Susan. Every once in a while, stopping by and tapping on, say hi, mom. I could get it. Could be comforting in a way. I mean, I guess that way is a way. Now, here's a question: can you get rigor mortis in the dick so it looks like I'm at least hung when I'm dead? Like, is that gonna pop up? And like, hey, look at this guy. He was a grower, not a shower. But look at this.
As far as that, I mean, put it in your will for them to fucking jam a hanger up in your dick and make it just fucking 9
Dude,
inches long.
I'm a disgusting fat body, dude. I'm really not in the mood to have somebody ripping my clothes off and looking at
Yeah,
me.
but it's not like you got to deal with the embarrassment. You're gone.
What if I'm looking down, going, "Holy shit, dude! I should have really taken better care of myself before this happened."
You know what? If you make it to heaven,
That's a good,
I have a real thought that you're not going to look down and go, "Hey, wait a minute! I may be in the greatest place of all time, but they're making fun of my tiny dick. I got to go handle that." Wow.
like I say though, people are two-faced, dude. I remember like my mom was diabetic, and so she had some episodes where she was, out of it because she had low blood sugar or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to call the cops once because we couldn't get into her place. I could see like her through the door. And when she was sitting on the couch and she was kind of all fucked up and out of it because she had low blood sugar. She was having an episode.
Right.
And the fucking firemen and cops got there and they're looking at her through the door and they're making fun of her.
Okay.
And they were really nice to me outside, but they didn't realize I was standing right behind them at the doorway, and they started fucking making fun of her. And I looked at them and said, "Who the fuck are you people?"
Yeah.
I mean, that's my mother.
Sorry, sir.
And they did. They did a whole apology thing. We deal with these things, and people deal with it differently. Said,
It's how we keep our minds at ease to deal with such terror.
And I was like, "That's my fucking mom, so you better deal with it a little bit differently." And but it sucks. People are like that. So that's why I'm worried. If I'm cut open when my clothes are cut off me when I die, I am so screwed. People are gonna be making fun of me for days. I'm gonna be on the internet. I mean, one of those guys that you play on this show after I'm gone. Going, look at Seth, this fat fuck, ripping his clothes off, getting balmed. It'll be on the Wednesday Mind Show.
Yeah, right. First time anybody subscribes.
Guys, it was a lovely sunny. It still is a lovely sunny day.
Yeah.
Please change the subject.
No.
Yeah.
How about this, Marty? No. That's what we're talking about.
I'm kind of tired of talking about death, but it does scare me a little bit. I don't want to be scared of it, but I mean, you and I have almost been there, so it's
Yeah, I don't have any fear of it at all. You know, I've prepped my kids well to expect it as part of their life, is that they're going to see me drop dead and they're going to have to deal with it. And I don't fear it. I've gotten way more days than I should have, so I'm not afraid. You know, if today's the day, then that's it. Then it's the day.
That's the other thing I thought about this morning, because it's my dad's birthday, and so again, happy birthday, Dad! Hope you're having a great one, and hopefully you're not listening to the show. But like I was thinking that this morning, like he's 76, and I'm going, what are the odds that I'm going to make it past him? He's out there today doing water aerobics and doing all this kind of shit, and I'm me with one leg and can barely walk up the stairs at times. And, like, there's a good chance that I'm not gonna. Outlive him.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. I mean, you hope not. That's the only thing I don't think I could come back from, is if one of my kids died before me. I think I could handle anything else, but one of my kids goes. Oof.
Yeah, my grandmother, God rest her soul, saw both of her daughters die before she did.
I don't know that I'm that tough. I just don't think I am. No way.
And I, didn't realize that until now I have a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, death is death, and it just happens. You don't know when it's going to happen. Blah 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 blah.
Sure.
But having a kid now, you sit back and you just fucking worry about that kind of stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm. All the time.
It's terrible.
My daughter's 30, whatever at this point, and I still worry about it. I still, if I don't hear from her in 2 days, I'm like, hey, where you at? 2 days. Yeah. I'm constantly, what are you doing? Where you at? Just to make sure, because you always do. It's part of it. It's part of having a kid. You never stop worrying about them.
I'm gonna start giving my Venmo account on here. Just gonna put that on the screen. Anybody wants to donate to my cremation, you can Venmo me. And I'll make sure that my wife gets it when I'm gone.
Right. I'm sure they'll get on the phone with her. Mrs. Williams, I'm so sad for your loss. Such a tragic thing. We've got $18 in the Venmo account for you.
By the way, do you want to go out tonight?
Yeah. We'll match that if you'll meet us for drinks.
Oh, God. That's the other thing that scares me, dude. I love my wife, and I outkicked my coverage, no doubt. And what's gonna happen when I'm gone, dude? How pissed I'm gonna be if all of a sudden she was like some really hot guy, like big dude, muscular, and like he's got money and all this kind of shit. And I'm going, dude, what the fuck? This brother's just waiting for me to go.
See, I honestly looked at that when I was married. I looked at that the other way. I was like, what if I die and she dates even worse than me? That was my thing. I was like, what if she dates some fucking scumbag that just beats her on the regular and is just using her as a fucking skin bag around that vagina?
Well, you know what? I mean, I would almost be happy with that, because then at least she knows that I was better for her. I was the good guy.
I don't know, but again, having that imagination of what if I'm watching from heaven and I'm watching this guy just beat my wife?
Yeah, that would really
on the regular.
That would be upsetting.
That would suck.
That would really suck.
Wow, we are very festive today, aren't we?
Yeah. All right, time to get over this. Time to move on to a little bit happier news. We got Tony Massaggio coming up in probably about 20 minutes. Right. So let's take a quick break and we'll switch gears a little bit. Talk about a little Amazon and Trump, because Trump is the greatest president of all time. Kamala Harris was talking today. I don't know if she did yet or not. I'm taking some shit online about it, about what I posted. We'll talk
Okay.
about that in just a few as well. But
All right.
so hang on, and we will be back after I find a commercial in about a minute or two. Hang on.
When disaster strikes, we come together. Here at Mario's Barbershop, we've turned our passion into purpose. As Hands to America, a 501c3 nonprofit, we're on the ground helping those hit by hurricanes, floods, fires, and tornadoes, right here in northeastern Ohio and nationwide. But we can't do it alone. We need your help to keep this vital work going. Your donations, whether it's cash or vehicles, can bring hope to those who've lost so much. Join us in making a real impact. Every donation fuels relief efforts and helps rebuild lives. Call us at 844-864-2637 or locally at 216-520-1977 or visit us at handstoamerica.org to see how you can help.
Handstoamerica.org. Handstoamerica.org is a place you can help out Mario a little bit. In fact, I got a message from Mario earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be heading down to southeast Ohio and western Kentucky. Some tornadoes, devastated stuff, and flooding and all this kind of stuff. Looking to head out there next weekend.
Okay.
But needs a lot of donations.
Yeah, so hook him up.
Going to Sacramento, Kentucky, which is right outside the city of Mayfield, Kentucky, with a Green River flooded the whole area.
Wow.
So if you can help out, go to Hands to America, handstoamerica.org. Whatever, $5 even helps.
Yeah.
If we're not going to give it to me and my cremation or my daughter's graduation, you can at least go to handstoamerica.org and help out the people who are flooded out by the Green River down there.
Yeah.
And give $5 to Mario and
Absolutely.
so we can get some stuff.
If we could throw some good vibes too, by the way, not necessarily that, but to a different area, one a little closer to home. I don't know if you heard, but close to Pittsburgh, and I know everybody hates Pittsburgh, but man, they got leveled yesterday by the storms.
How's
you
your
hear
area?
about that? Dude, it's the weirdest thing. Pittsburgh.
I know that like Steubenville around here got hit pretty good, right? That area down there.
Yeah. I mean, it rained here. I mean, it was raining. I was doing Chris Hagen Presents last night, so I heard the rain. But no, the area like where Pinball PA is, our plaza still has power.
Yeah.
But everything around it does not, and still doesn't
Really?
as of today. Like 200,000 people without power for days.
Wow.
You know, because they got hit really badly, you know, out there. So I know y'all hate Pittsburgh, but let's send good vibes. We hate them because our football teams don't like each other, not because we hate them as people. So
And their women are kind of ugly, but that's all right.
Yeah,
but if they need help, little good vibes over there. Yeah, pray for them. Absolutely. And,
that's right. Yeah, I was surprised at how when I saw, because my kid hit me up and said, "Hey, can we do a special if people don't have anything to do? Come to Pinball PA because we have power." And I was like, "Yeah, go ahead. You know, that's cool. You know,
That's cool." I know. Yeah, I didn't know anything about Altoona until I went out to Pinball PA.
Okay.
And
Aliquippa.
Aliquippa, that's where it is.
Yeah, Altoona's somewhere else.
I don't know where Altoona is. I was making up names, but Aliquippa. And I didn't know anything about it. And it's actually a really great area, man. They got a lot of like cool shopping. I had lunch at Permonti Brothers right down the road from.
Oh yeah, right down the hill. Yeah.
From your Pinball PA, and it's it's a cool little area. It's got a lot of stuff. Well,
it's a fun area, but Pinball PA is a jewel, and I don't like to talk about it a whole lot because I really don't want to sound like that guy. Hey, come to my pinball play, but it is. You've been there. It's It's like nothing you've ever walked into.
Oh, it's great. And if you're like especially if you're like a Gen X person like me here and you and it like you're gonna love the old video games and the old pinball machines and stuff like that. You got to take your kids out there, whatever. And it's like it's only a couple hours, man. It's a good day trip or a good weekend trip to go out to Aliquippa and check out Pinball PA because it is fun. I mean, it's a lot of good fun shit to do. And then if you want lunch or some stuff, there's restaurants and crap all down that road.
Right in the plaza, we have the steak place right there that is fantastic and relatively fair price. So Every time I go up there, that's where I eat. Is right there at the steak place, right in the plaza. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, check it out when you get a chance on the weekend or something. During the summer, you got to go check out.
Yeah.
Pinball PA.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right. So Trump,
Mm-hmm.
you were talking. You posted a story today about the Amazon.
Yes, it's so. And again, this is where I rely on you heavily because I really don't pay any attention. But I was looking for something to put on the graphic, and I saw, Amazon's going to post the tariffs, which I guess now they're backtracking on. They're saying they're not going to do that, but the White House attacked them, I guess, for saying that they were going to post the new cost, like the cost of the good, plus then they were going to offer the tariff value of the cost or
They
something.
were supposed to put on like the price of stuff, what the added cost is with the tariffs because of Trump and China and all that kind of stuff.
And I guess the White House was really upset about this.
Well, I mean, what they did, Trump called Bezos and said, "Hey, this isn't cool." And by the afternoon, that whole thing was straightened out and taken off, and they weren't going to do it.
Wouldn't you rather they do it? I would rather they do it. I would I would like to know who is screwing us and by how much.
But also, I think that they weren't, according to what I heard this morning, they weren't going to actually do it on the main Amazon site. There's some like offshoot sites of Amazon.
Oh, like a Temu or something like that.
Yeah, and stuff like that. They were going to show what it is, and now they're not because Trump made a call. But look, I use Amazon all the time.
Me too.
I mean, I use it for, dude, I'll just think of something while I'm sitting at home. Like I'm sitting in the wheelchair at night, watching TV, and all of a sudden something will pop into my head. I go, I wonder if they have that on Amazon. Of course they do, because they have everything on Amazon.
Sure.
You know what I bought the other day?
What?
I bought a squeegee for the garage floor. Because I noticed that there was some salt from the wintertime that my car had dragged into the garage, and I got like nature stone or whatever in the garage, and I don't want it to get all ruined because of the salt. So I have a hose that I just bought off of Amazon.
Right.
I went 3 years in his house without a hose, so I bought a hose finally off of Amazon, like $20, and hooked it up to the garage. And then I said, well, I can't just spray the garage floor down because I don't have anywhere to put the water. So I said, I need a squeegee. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Amazon and see if I typed in garage floor squeegee. And of course they had them.
Of course.
So I had to get one of those. And then I had to get some bathroom fixtures because I noticed that the knobs on the cabinets in the bathroom were falling off. And so I had to get new ones of those. So I'll be sitting there like a dumbass and just looking at Amazon every single night. A corner of my phone case came up and I go, well, I need a new phone case. So I went to Amazon.
Right.
Phone case. But so I didn't notice anything in the past week that showed me any kind of tariff stuff, but I did hear they were doing that, and then Trump put an end to it. But you wish that they would have kept it.
I wish they would do it because again, speaking only for me, if I saw that something was tariffed and I saw the same item for about the same price and it wasn't tariffed, or I would buy the American thing. It would tell me that it's an American made item. I would like to go back to 1981 or 82 when that mattered.
I understand, and I understand your point, but at the same time, as far as a political move for Trump, I don't think it helps him because there are so many moms or people like me that are out there looking at Amazon wanting to buy stuff, and so every time I would see fucking tariff next to it, I get mad at Trump, thinking that it's his fault.
But wouldn't you rather him do it now than in 3 years from now, where it could hurt the next guy?
The problem is that
people get used to it in 3 years.
No. The problem, I understand what you're saying, but the problem is that we're not looking at 3 years from now. What we're looking at right now is the midterms, and so we have to look at actually, 26?
Yeah.
Because if we lose the midterms, which means the House flips and all of a sudden it's a liberal House, and it doesn't matter what Trump does.
Yeah, because he's lame ducked.
So he's fucked, and so you have to head off all this stuff now to make sure that the midterms go our way. And if it doesn't, then forget about his agenda. He might as well just sit back and play golf all day because it ain't gonna matter what he does.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I had this discussion with in fact it was with Eric that I do Crusader Presents with. And he was telling me about, let me see, I could tell you exactly what it was. He was telling me about something that he was trying to buy that got really ganked because of the tariffs. Where's Eric? A few stage clothing items I had on my eBay watch list suddenly had a huge shipping charge. What was an $80 pair of pants with free shipping is now $80 plus $200 shipping.
Jesus.
So they're and my answer to him was, you know what, there's going to be some pain in this. And this is what I think America as a whole is not looking at. Everybody's expecting, or everybody wants, all these changes that are going to make the economy better and this and that with no pain point to it.
Right.
There's going to be a pain point to it. Everybody needs to accept that. Everything's going to cost more for about a year. It's going to take a little while if you play it out on how real life works, it makes more sense. And how it works is, let's just say, these pants that he was looking at, the maker of these pants for stage clothes.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's made somewhere other than here, which is why the shipping cost went sky high. So what is going to happen? What's going to happen is there's going to be some dressmaking company here in the United States that's going to start making that product. And then the prices will come back down. But there's going to be the pain point for right now while business adapts to the new economy. But we have to adapt to that new economy, because if we do not adapt to that new economy, everybody's overlooking, and I have not seen this one time in the news. I haven't heard it from you. I haven't heard it from anybody that talks about this shit. Why is nobody talking about the fact that we have become Saudi Arabia and China's bitch when it comes to economics? China's buying up all the ports, buying up all the farming. The Saudis are buying up everything under the sun. We are quickly becoming their bitch because we don't have economic strength anymore.
Dude, believe me, Bob France had a guy on the show the other day, 9 to noon, WHK 1420, who was sitting there talking about the fact that China's actually buying farmland here in Ohio.
Yes.
I mean, this is not good. I mean, no, they are buying shit all over the place. And you know what? Who let them in here? Biden did. Because it wasn't just Mexicans that were crossing the border.
No,
it was
not at all.
Chinese nationalists. It was terrorists. It was all kind of people coming over here.
But do you know where they're getting the money from it? By charging us 150% on anything that we sell.
Of course, and that's why Trump is doing all this shit. But here's the problem: people panic. People are dumb. People don't read. Mm-hmm. The people that you see online that I get in arguments with all day long, they're not actually people that do any kind of research to figure out what the hell is going on. They listen to CNN or even our local stations like Channel 19, Channel 3 especially, talk shit. And I mean, look, I heard a news report the other day. I was watching, yesterday, I was just watching the news, and this girl was doing a report. Very pretty girl, by the way, but people listen to her because she's pretty. And she goes, Donald Trump has deported hundreds of immigrants, both legal status and illegal status. Well, no, that's not true.
The legal one is funny.
Legal status? Yes. He's just picking people out and just going, all right, go. No, he's taking illegal criminals out of here. But she actually said the word legal status. Get the fuck out of here, people. But people don't do any kind of research. Matthew, who joined the show, does not do any kind of research. They just listen to the talking heads without reading anything. They just go with it. Yeah. I got in an argument with this lady about the family man from Maryland who's been taken away. And she goes, he deserves due process. And this is a person I'm friends with on Facebook. I don't know why. Mm-hmm. I said, he's been given due process twice by 2 Democrat judges who found that he was an illegal citizen and a gang member.
Right.
Which is why he's no longer here. On top of that, he beat the shit out of his wife. On top of that, he was driving a car that was used for human smuggling. The guy is gone for a reason. And she goes, well, yeah, there was an error by the Trump administration. Well, did you do any research? It was because he was an MS-13 gang member, and other gang members were threatened to kill him in El Salvador. So he wasn't supposed to be deported to El Salvador. He's supposed to go somewhere else.
Sure.
People have no idea what the hell they're talking about. They don't even want to do the research a little bit. And so when it comes to the tariffs, it's the same kind of thing. We've been getting ripped off for fucking ever. And yet now Trump is saying, hey, look, no, that's not going to happen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to cause some pain for a little bit, but he's looking long term. Do you think Trump is stupid? For real. Look, he may do a lot of stupid things, but he's not a stupid person. And so he knows he's going to take a hit in the polls. He knows there's going to be people going, what the fuck is the stock market doing? But he's doing it for the long-term benefit of the country.
Yeah.
Because we are getting ripped off.
We are. Anyway, I'm yet to figure out how people think that it's okay for us to charge less than we're being charged. Nobody can explain that one. Why is that acceptable? It's not. How about this? How about if we just don't have any tariffs on anything? How about that? Either way.
Either way.
You know, how about you just charge for what you sell, which is what you're supposed to do anyway? Why the fuck does the country have to pay an extra fee to bring in erasers from China or whatever? Who gives a shit?
I agree. I mean, let people decide what they want to buy.
Yeah.
Should be a free market, whatever.
Yeah, I would think so, but by the way, just a side note here.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with this, but I think we need to calm the room down.
Yeah.
Have you seen
Matthew, you don't deserve to listen to the show.
Have you seen the pictures of this Trish Christakis, the Miami Heat reporter? And it's only a thing now because the Cavs just wiped the Heat off the map.
Yeah.
Have you seen this reporter?
No.
I think you need to, Seth.
Oh, hello.
I would watch every Heat game.
Yes. I'm now a fan of the Heat. How about that? Look at that.
That's what I'm saying. My goodness. Yeah, she's quite the stunner, huh?
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Usually not for the female sideline reporter. I'd be for that one.
I'd watch her report on anything. She could report on paint of the wall. And
yes. We're going to be cooking ramen today. Great. Let's watch. I'd watch a 30-minute TV show of that, of her cooking ramen.
Amen. Matthew thinks that the Trump administration and Trump are all stupid.
Oh,
but Kamala Harris was speaking today.
Okay.
And you should have seen the comments on that. Yeah. I don't know, because I don't know when she was actually speaking, because nobody actually is going to watch her because she's a fucking moron. But everything was on there. How many? What are these word salads going to be like? And all this kind of bullshit. And some of the lefties like Matthew were getting mad, like, word salad, how creative. Yeah, well, I mean, that's all she does. So I said, new drinking game. How many words is she going to use in one particular thought? Over under 30. And I said the sad part is Kamala will win the drinking part no matter what. And some of the lefties were not exactly happy with my comment.
Aw.
But I feel bad for I mean, I asked a couple of these idiots online. I said, what's your problem? Why are you so sad? Why can't you just shut up for a little while? Like, are you that pathetic that you're still whining about this? I mean, get over it.
Right.
And they have no answer. They have no answer to anything. Other than Trump is bad, Orange Man bad, blah, 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 blah. It's the most ridiculous, pathetic display I've ever seen in my life. I'd rather you march in the streets. At least you're doing something productive.
How about
But it's really,
street?
it's really so annoying anymore. Like, the majority of Americans have to bow down to the fucking feelings of douchebags like Matthew, or the douchebags out there. Like, they got mad because Trump said he wants to. It's now Columbus Day, and that's the way it's going to be. It's not going to be Indigenous Peoples Day. It's going to be Columbus Day. And, of course, now they're comparing Trump to a murderer because he said that it's going to be Columbus Day. I mean, it's always been Columbus Day, and it should always be Columbus Day. Yeah. I never had Indigenous People Day off of school. I had Columbus Day off of school. I mean, you fucking idiots. I am so sick of having to bow down to the minority of bullshit leftists out there with this stupid agenda to try to make our country a bunch of pussies anymore. It is really pathetic. It really is. I'm tired of the whining and the crying and trying to. Dude, we're headed into the worst month of all time now. You know that, right? I mean, we're a month away from June. Ugh.
Juneteenth, baby. I can't wait.
And of course, the month of June. I mean, I didn't see anybody marching in the streets and give me parades for Amputee Month, which was in April. What happened there? What was my month? I had a month. Apparently, that's not as important as the LGBTQ plus AI barbecue month. I mean, what the fuck, dude? But they're going to have an entire month.
I thought you were taking your vacation to celebrate Juneteenth.
I am.
No?
I'm going to the South.
Don't say what you're about to.
No, I'm not saying it.
Don't say it.
I'm not saying it. I'm going to Dollywood at the end of June to celebrate
That's
LGBTQ
funny.
plus month on Juneteenth.
Yeah, I know. Tony's getting ready to come on, but can we, right before Tony comes on, can we say something nice about Shador Sanders? And I'm being legit.
Yeah.
Can
we also show the picture of the hot Miami reporter again?
I'll have to dig that one back up, but I'll find it.
Okay, before the show's over.
Yeah, Shador Sanders, who we absolutely hammered on.
Wait a second, hang on.
Go ahead.
That's a lie. See, this is why Matthew Tyler is a liar. Because inflation actually dropped. Inflation has fallen since Trump took office. Look at the fucking numbers, you idiot.
Why do you care what some blip on your screen
Well,
says?
because that's
Who
what
gives
I'm
a
tired
shit?
of. He's a liar.
So what? You
They
know
all
that going
are.
in. You know
They
that going
lie.
in. You
They
know
all
it
lie.
going in. But anyway, Shador Sanders, real
Shador
quick.
Sanders.
I was like right there on the hate train. I'm not going to lie about it. And so far, it's only a couple days, I'm pretty happy with this kid. He came right to town. He hasn't been a pain in the ass. He went out and spoke at a school today. Did you see this?
I did not. What did he say?
He went out to Cleveland Public School and out to John Marshall and talked to the kids.
He looks like one of them.
He does look like one. He looks like he's the same age as
He
them.
looks
but-
like he's in high school.
He does. He looks young, but I'm going to kind of pull my rein back just a hair on Shador Sanders because at least he's not being a showboat dick right off the jump. Now, he may end up being that, but you got to at least have a little bit of respect to that. The kid just went through the worst weekend probably of his life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, and he shows up into a city that he knows passed on him four or five different times first. And then, you know, he knows that everybody's shitting on him for coming to Cleveland because it's the shithole of football. And he's coming with a positive attitude and he's doing positive things. So I'm absolutely kind of on board with this kid for this moment. Now we'll have to see how it goes when it comes to practicing next week.
What did he say?
He it's probably just one of these speeches about, you know, I made it through school, you can make it through school. It doesn't really say what he said. I'm sure it was just some rah-rah speech or something, but that's still a pretty good, you know, he's only been officially a member of the Browns for what, 4 days? And he's out showing up at Cleveland Public to give these kids a little thrill. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
It's a pretty good move. So that's all. I just saw this.
I think I honestly believe he's going to be the starter on opening day.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I do.
Dude, they will Tim Couch him as fast. If he has any ability to be a decent quarterback, that will end him.
I think he does. I think he was not drafted where he was supposed to be drafted because he seemed like a dick and a douche and his dad. Otherwise, I think he's going to be a good football player. But
I don't know, man. Most of the reports say different. And again, the reports have been wrong before, but
look,
almost all the evaluations say that he's not good enough.
I listen to Mel Kiper. He's my
Mel Kiper.
He's my
Mel
guy.
Kiper said Jimmy Clausen was going to be a Pro Bowler. Stop it. Said that Patrick Mahomes was the 5th best quarterback in his draft. Mel Kiper's a boob.
I will say, dude, come on. Do you really think Patrick Mahomes is that good? Look at the talent
Yes.
he's been surrounded with.
Patrick Mahomes is
Travis
that good.
Kelce. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Travis Kelce, but he's never had good receivers. He's never really had good backs. Pat Mahomes is a stud, man. He's one of the greatest we've had. I honestly believe that. And I hate him. I hate the Chiefs. I can't stand watching them. But he's a great player. I know when it's the fourth quarter and there's about 3 minutes left and the Chiefs are down by 3, I have no doubt they're going to win the game because of Patrick Mahomes. He's a good player, man.
All right, let's go to our restaurant reporter. Is
Okay.
he ready? Does he look ready?
I don't know. He's flipping around back and forth. Oh, he's putting it on the sign. Go ahead.
All right, let's go to Tony Masaccio, our restaurant reporter.
Maybe.
Tony.
Guys, how are you?
What's going on, Tony?
I am here in Coventry at Pacific East, which is located on Mayfield Road and Coventry. They actually have seafood here. They're known for their sushi. Oh, this place is wonderful. If you like sushi, this is really a cool place.
And where is it located again, Tony?
It's located in Coventry and Cleveland Heights on Mayfield Road and Coventry. It's right in the corner, Mayfield and Coventry. So again, they've been here for many years. This place, this was like one of the first sushi places that came to northeastern Ohio. And now anywhere you can find sushi. I mean, now you find it in a grocery store for that matter.
Sure.
But this is really one of the greatest places that I come to because they have the sous chefs here. And when they are open, I mean, they fly through the sushi. It's really cool for it to go.
I've never tried sushi, ever.
Yeah, that was my next question, and I knew that was probably going to be a no.
Well, I mean, I don't know if my problem is the raw fish. I think my problem is the seaweed.
Well, you know what?
And they have stuff without seaweed?
Yeah, so they have it like tempura style, Seth, where you can actually get it fried.
Well, there you go.
And it's it's delicious. It's one of those acquired tastes, if you will, when it comes to a Japanese restaurant.
Now, if you get it tempura, right? Tempura fried?
Correct.
Can
That
you
is
dip
correct.
it? Do they give you ranch to dip it in or anything?
Ranch.
I don't think there's ranch in the building.
Well, that's anything that's fried. I usually dip it in ranch, so that's why I wondered.
It's fried. I think you'd have to bring your own ranch.
So if it's fried,
but
does that mean the
But let me
fish is
find
cooked?
that out. So the host of this show is asking if he wants tempura, but do you have ranch dressing that he can? No ranch dressing. No, she's shaking her head. No ranch dressing, Seth. I apologize.
She's about to throw you out of the room, Tony.
So is the fish cooked when it's fried then?
Okay, yes. Oh, that's good. I'm good. Actually, I was behind the bar. She didn't want me behind the bar. She was thinking I was going to steal the sake. I'm good. No, I'm just teasing. Thank you, dear.
No, we're not thinking you steal the sake.
Okay. You want to say hello?
No,
No. Okay. This was the owner of the restaurant. Everyone's shy here. No one's going to let me see them eat. So anyways, guys, I have some spicy tuna here. I have a glass of Cabernet Sauvignon, and I'm enjoying Wednesday evening as always. And of course,
Nice.
The bill will be picked up whether they know it or not.
I don't know after that interaction.
So I got to tell you. So you were talking about the Browns, and
Yeah.
there's two things I want to talk about here.
Sure.
First of all, we have. So you look at it. We have 4 quarterbacks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
On the roster.
Right.
Guys, Seth, I don't care who starts the first Sunday that we play. This is the most important job in this organization, and we still don't have it right. That's
No.
going to be a problem in the beginning of the season. And I really hope that this works out for a rookie. But again, how many times have we had this happen where a rookie goes on the field? Oh my God, we've had 35 of them.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not. It's looking like a 2 or 3 win season. It's really looking like
Yeah.
it's not going to be fun this year.
No, and again, we always look at this, the rebuilding of the Browns. This window, it's shut. It's not even partly open, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate. And here's another problem. You're looking at a new stadium. You've got a horrible product, which we well know. So you're building a business, and literally, it doesn't matter about the Browns. This guy's going to build an empire with just a new stadium, making it a dome. And of course, not, it'll be cool. Obviously, you can do concerts and everything else. But my whole point is, listen, why don't you just get the 300 million or whatever, the 3 billion. How much is it going to cost for this? Brand new 3 billion?
I think it's three. Well, it's estimated at 3 billion, but that usually means with the overruns, it'll be about 5.
Okay. So here's what you do, guys. You rebuild the downtown stadium, put a dome on it, and then take the airport away and restructure the downtown area. Because here's one problem. What are you going to do when they do move? What do you do with that stadium? First of all, there's a cost of taking it down, number one. And you're gonna have to build. You're gonna have to build something on the lakefront, and I've been on this planet for 64 years in Cleveland, Ohio. It still hasn't worked. I just did my show from Alley Cat in the Flats, and Seth, you can attest to this. It was an unbelievable place when you were working at Hooters. It was a great atmosphere. You brought a ton of people down there. It made a lot of money. It closed up, and now you have restaurants that are rebuilding there, and we still don't have an infrastructure on a beautiful lake.
Yeah. Well,
They
Tony,
keep talking
look at
about it.
Look
Tony,
at
they
the
took me and Triv on a tour of downtown Cleveland. Triv actually went on a tour of downtown Cleveland. And they showed us plans for the lakefront. And that was how many years ago? And they have done nothing. Nothing. It was 10 years ago at least. They took us on this tour. They're nothing downtown.
And look at the other side of the flats. Look at the was that the East Bank? Remember when they said, "Oh, we're going to put these apartments up and it's going to completely revitalize this whole area"? That was 20 years ago. What have they done? Nothing. Now you have a bunch of empty warehouses and no businesses. Nothing is down there now.
Well, and guess what? You got a problem there, Chris, because you have these apartments are $3,000.
Yeah. Nobody can afford them.
Yeah, exactly right. You got that downtown. It's no different than going to New York City or Chicago. You have expensive apartments. Again, we got to figure this out. They got to figure it out. Listen, I'm on the back nine in my life, and this city still can grow so much more economically than it ever has been in the last 30 years, which is, again, and we've talked about this before. It's just, it's the mayor, it's the city, it's people are moving out of the city. It's a problem. But again, anyways, getting back to the Browns, how are you going to invest in this company, which again, they are a company, and it's 8 games, which most people don't even watch the Browns. It doesn't matter to them economically. So,
all right, here's my thing, Tony. I think that I don't necessarily think you're investing in the Browns. I think you're investing in the city when you want to put a dome out in Brook Park. With one, it's literally across the street from Cleveland, so it's still technically Cleveland. People are going to go downtown if they're coming out to see that stadium. I think you have opened the door to a lot more events, a lot more concerts, a lot more. Is he gone?
I think Tony. There he is.
So I think you open the door to a lot more stuff for the city and the surrounding areas by having a dome stadium somewhere else. You have nothing downtown. The city is not going to put any money into that lakefront area at all. They should have done it. They should have put the casino down there. They should have put shopping down there. They should have put the restaurants down there. The Hard Rock should have been down there by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Everything they do is stupid downtown. And I don't think it's going to change by putting a dome on the stadium that's already there.
And you know what? And it could have been walking. Just like Chicago. You would have been able to walk by the waterfront and have everything there. So, all right. So
they talked about putting a monorail system downtown to take you around the places. And the guy,
they rewired all the streets. If you look at all the streets now, 3/4 of the streets are one way. Why? Because they were going to put in that transportation, but they never did.
Never did.
So here's the, and they want to obviously borrow this money, make it a grant, whatever you have with the Haslams. And again, it's his business. Of course, he's going to have to invest in it. All you have to do now, you already have the stadium, you build a dome on it, whatever the loan is, and you call it a day. Opposed to him. But I'm going to tell you something again. This guy's looking at this as a great investment for him, not for the city, because he's going to make a ton of money on hotels and entertainment and everything else.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's short-sighted, though, Tony. I think there's a lot of people that benefit from that kind of stuff. I think when you have events that are going to be here like that, I think you're all of a sudden pizza places, Door Dashers, all the different businesses around are going to benefit from having something new.
Yeah, but he's going to be their landlord, so he's going to make the most.
I get it. I understand that. But, we have to pay for entertainment in this town. We have to pay for entertainment in this country. You want to go see a movie, you got to pay for the entertainment. And ticket prices suck, but you got to pay for the lights to be kept on. You got to pay for concessions. You got to pay for all this shit.
Yeah, no, I agree. Again, you know what? I've been to many cities. I've been to many major cities. I was just in Phoenix about 3 weeks ago. And it's incredible. I mean, how much you can do there. And again, it's a warm city, but we're so behind, and we always have been. It's just shame.
How's Coventry these days? I
Oh my
grew
God,
up in
it's
that
still
area, man.
wonderful. So they have a dispensary which is right across the street. So after I eat, I'm going to go grab some and I'm going to smoke and then I'm going to eat again.
I remember when I grew up there, Tony, they had Big Fun over there. They had like
Yes.
an Arabica coffee house. They actually had an all condom store. They had like a concert club. I mean, it was a great area to hang out in when I was younger.
So, 30 years ago, this is where I used to get my smoke. Now I can get it again here for legally.
Nice.
So, hey guys, just one more thing. Obviously, there was a big sorrow across America and across the world with the Pope passing. So they have 135 cardinals that are nominated that can now become the Pope. So and again, they're looking at these guys that are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s that are eligible for this position. I say there's just one man that they can actually put as the Pope, and only God knows how he's still alive. Ladies and gentlemen, your new Pope, Keith Richards. Guys, I'll talk to you next week. Have
See
a
you,
great
Tony.
evening. I'll see you later.
I'd see you, Tony. There goes Tony.
The lady didn't seem all that happy that he was there.
No, not at all. Well, I think he may have tipped his hat a little bit too when he said they're buying this whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
I don't think they knew it. Yeah, he was constantly looking over his shoulder like they were trying to throw him out. See, now that would be the best episode of Tony Masaccio ever. Is if he actually got thrown out of one of these places. That'd be great.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I kind of was like looking at him going, he keeps checking to see like what's going on. And that lady wanted nothing to do with it. He was saying hi
I don't think he told her that they were going live. I think he just said, "Yeah, I'm doing a podcast. Is that okay?" And they said, "Sure." And then he went live and they weren't ready. And plus he walked behind the bar and everything else.
I remember one time Tony called me after it was one of the first ones that he did for the show.
Yeah.
And he called me after like the next day and he's like, "Yeah, I got a $91 bill from the restaurant yesterday." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "Yeah, I got all this food and stuff and I had him on showing everything, and at the end of it they gave me a $91 bill." I was like, "Well, what the hell do you want from me? I'm not paying for it."
Yeah, we didn't get the food. You ate it.
I was like, "I didn't eat any of that shit."
Right.
I think eventually you got it straightened out, but I love Tony. Tony's one of my favorite people.
Yeah, he's great.
All right. I think it's time to make the switch.
It's time to go to mines, and I have one or two topics that are really good. So,
man, I don't care what you have tonight. It's not going to beat what we had last week.
It ain't beating. Last week was hysterical.
Yeah, if you
Jesus
haven't checked
Christ!
out that, you got to sign up for mines. Freaking $5 a month.
Yeah.
Get your extra content, good stuff, good shit.
And you can watch last week's episode, which is up there. So, oh boy, was that good!
All right,
we were all crying.
Oh, dude, I could not stop. John Drake was there. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was.
All right, my friends. God willing, we'll talk to you again on Monday. Have yourself a great rest of the week and weekend. If you're not joining us on Minds, we will see you then. And thanks for hanging out today. We'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Maybe.
knows this land stands tall and proud. Believes in freedom, speaks his mind out loud. Mentored by Trip, he learned to be tough. Life knocked him down, but he got back up. Lost a leg, but he's still strong and true. Chasing dreams under skies of red, white, and blue. Voting for Trump, he shouts it clear. WTAM tried to bring him down, but he's still here. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. Hates LeBron James, won't wear that crown. Prefers hard work and blue jeans in this town. Radio waves try to shut him up, but Seth keeps singing, filling that cup. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air. From the small town streets to the mountain high, Seth sees the flag waving, reaching for the sky. He keeps on fighting with a rebel yell, for every fallen soldier and the stories they tell. In the heart of America, Seth takes a stand. Against the tides, he defends our land. Liberals call him crazy, but he don't care. He's got the spirit of an eagle, soaring high in the air.